My spiritual journey, I've learned that there's a big difference between believing in God or a higher power and living in active faith. Believing in God or a higher power sort of gives us that, like, we don't have to fear death because there's a place for us. We can ask for help, or in worst cases, blame something bigger than us that is outside of us. Living in active faith actually starts to show you that God is within you, not something outside of you that we're blaming or asking for help or projecting onto, right? So if we believe in God and things start going poorly in our lives or we're struggling, then we'll ask for help, right? That's when we crumble and say, I can do nothing. This is out of my hands. It is out of my control. That's when you would like give it to God, right? God, please step in here. God steps in some way. We don't always see it or understand it. God steps in some way. The universe shifts, things move, our prayers are heard. And then when things are better, we don't always put a lot of stock into like, wow, like, it's almost like we think it would have happened anyway, right? Like, we don't take a moment to really like accept and appreciate the fact that like interventions have been made. It's usually not how we think they will. Like, I mean, there is a certain physical order to this world, physical laws, that spirit will use in ways to shift things for us, for people. Living in active faith is actively surrendering your day-to-day stuff to a higher power. So not waiting until things are crumbling and have gone to shit and we see no way, and the only way is for us to, ask God to make a way, which he does, which the universe does. Active faith is not just going when we feel like we can't handle it, but to be actively asking to be shown the best way to handle it, and not just the big stuff. When we are in active faith and we invite God into every aspect, every facet of our lives, when we learn that the connection to source is primary above all, and with that connection and faith, miracles are made. And Spirit can use you. Spirit uses me to bless others. Spirit will use you to bless others, because that's what we're here to do. We aren't here to be martyrs and to self-sacrifice and to suffer. That's a human condition. That's a human program. When we are in active faith, we are constantly reminded of God's presence in our lives. It shows up. We are constantly reminded that we are supported and loved. It doesn't mean that nothing bad happens. Bad shit happens. It's part of the human experience. But it reminds us that the bad shit isn't the defining moment of who we are in our story and our experience. Like, God doesn't keep bad things from happening to us, because that's literally what we signed up to be here. I mean, bad stuff is pretty extreme because we have lost our way greatly. Wounded egos have just taken the lead in many aspects. But when we're in active faith, we are guided. We are guided. We are reminded of love. We see beauty. We can live in gratitude, even when things are less than ideal. It also gives us the strength, courage, determination, grit to stand up against the things that are not right, against the things that are harmful, against the things that are lies and poison, and to speak the truth with love and compassion, and to shine the light, to shine our light so that the others can find us, and then the light will grow. Because there are many of us. There are many of us. Once we can zoom out, we're all damaged. But yesterday doesn't have to mean shit about today. You get to wake up and choose at any moment if we continue to let the past define who we are and what we're capable of and where we're going, or if we completely change the script. Like, it's up to us. We are not locked into anything. They are self-imposed chains. Cut that shit. Do not let what happened yesterday, last week, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, during your childhood when it was not your fault. It was not your fault what you experienced, but you have to let it go. You have to let it mean nothing about who you are now. It means nothing about who you are now. Forgiveness is not a free pass. It releases you from the energetic hold that those experiences and those people have on you. You are here on purpose. You get to choose what you do with this life. You get to choose where you go with it. You're worthy of that. I love you.